Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to Retaliate. This is a shoot 'em up. I received a free copy of the game from the developer. Um, a couple of things to point out. There is a story mode, which is this mode right here, which is pretty cool. I'm going to do the arcade. Um, this video will be relatively short. For the story mode, if you happen to die, just close the game and then restart it, and you'll be able to restart back at the level you died at with however many lives you went into it with. Otherwise, you'll have to start back from the beginning. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's an option. And then we have our arcade mode. The arcade mode is something that I would say it's really just, the game's story mode is there to kind of get you ready to play the arcade mode. The big thing that starts with the arcade mode is you start off with 0 points, or 0 lives. And then I got blown up, so we'll see if can't do this a little bit differently. Wait, what? I was just gonna say it doesn't feel right. It seems like perhaps we went backwards. I really hate those ships. The ones that weave in and out. I don't know. They're kind of a pain in the butt. So anyway, the big gist of the game is you don't have any ammunition on your own. You have to absorb ammunition by, capturing the bullets with your shield from enemies that attack you. And there's all kinds of different enemies. They've got mines, they've got explosions, or rockets rather, stuff like that. And I think it's pretty cool. I do wish that we could gain some ammunition from ships that we just attack. Like if this rocket ship normally would give me a rocket if I capture its rocket, it almost stands to reason that I should be able to get some rockets if I just capture the ship with my shields. But that's not the case at all, which is fine. Like, I get it. It would be potentially too easy of a game if that was the case. But it would be nice. You can't shoot when you are shielded, which gives you a bit of strategy. And overall, this is the general gist of the game. I don't think the game is what I would consider overly difficult at all. It really isn't. It's just a game of getting the timing right, which that sometimes can be a little bit on the difficult side, but overall the actual difficulty in the game is I would say fairly easy. Of course, that will change depending on each individual. And if you're like me and currently sick as crap and feeling terrible, the game goes from being relatively easy to actually kind of difficult because everything hurts and it's just really difficult to focus and do this. But here we are because it's Monday. I accepted a free key for this with the idea that I would make content for it today. So, my hands are tied. I kind of don't have a choice. I have to kind of suck up the sickness and just get out here and do my best. It's just really hard to do. Dang. Died. And apparently the global score is I'm number 1. The game did just come out, so not a lot of people played it just yet, but that's cool to know. Anyway, we do have a hangar. We can change some ships. Let's do this guy. We'll make him yellow and I don't know. Pink shield. Why not? see if I can finish this last level. I would say it's possible. So in the story mode, you actually can, get more lives as you play. I wish I could tell you exactly how that mechanic works, but I don't know. I haven't been able to figure it out. Like, it's beyond me for figuring it out. At first, I thought it was maybe, like, I just gained life. At first, I thought it was because of, perhaps how many points that I was getting, and I was like, well, no, maybe it's not that. Maybe it is directly tied to how many ships I kill. Maybe I have to kill a certain amount at the same time, and that turned out to not be it either. I really don't know what it is or exactly how to do it. I had a phone call, and I've like restarted doing this video like 4 times now. And I'm not gonna do it again. I'm just gonna stick through this. We're gonna just push through. I apologize for the delay. They can leave a message. That's it. Some people to call and probably make an appointment or talk to me about brain injuries. I don't know. Doesn't really matter at this point. I lost 2 lives because of the phone. It's really unfortunate. I would like to at least survive long enough to get to the boss to kind of show it off, and then talk a little bit about that. So I mean, before we get to the boss, I will state that that will be one of the disappointing aspects of the story mode. While yes, there is a boss, as you play, the downside is the boss is essentially the exact same thing every time, and that gets kind of old relatively quick. And the, I don't know, dive bomb ship, whatever you call it, is probably my least favorite of all of the different weapons you can absorb. It also brings back that whole idea that, if I can absorb that ship and take its power, why can't I absorb the rocket ship's power from absorbing the rockets? It just doesn't make sense to me. It feels kind of like an oversight. You do have to be careful with the explosives because they're not friendly. They will kill you. And you might say, well, duh, but I mean, why is that a duh? You would think that your shield would protect you against a lot of these things, like the explosives and stuff. So when it doesn't, it's really surprising. the game reminds me just a very small bit of Galaga. Like, not enough for that statement to even make a lot of sense, but I mean, a little bit. I used to play Galaga all the time. I'd go to the arcade, and that's what I would play. I was number one at my local arcade for years, because I would just play Galaga all the time, and I was really good at it. I wish things were, like, slightly different with the boss fight. I mean, I've already stated that... Really? I've already stated that, you know, the boss fight is pretty much the same every time. And it really is. You're always fighting the same guy, but occasionally you've got, like, some different attacks but that you have to deal with. But overall, like, it's the exact same experience each time, which I think is, like, the biggest the biggest downside of the boss fights in general. We have all these different sections of this enemy ship that explode as time goes on, but overall it doesn't really make a huge difference where we hit it, but it gives you this false sense that it would, and I don't know, I just wish that there was a little bit more locational damage for the boss. Everything is there in place for that to be a thing. It just, you know, isn't what happens. That rocket that explodes, you have to kind of time just right. It's like another one of those attacks that I'm not a huge fan of. It's not super helpful. But the big problem with it is gotta be, or it certainly has to be, the fact that the explosions blow you up even when you're shielded, and I just don't quite understand it. I mean, I feel like unless something terrible happens, I should actually be able to kill the boss this time. And then we get to see the ending together. It's kind of like going to watching a movie with, like, Keanu Reeves. And Sandra Bullock is there, and she's, like, making sandwiches. I had a sandwich for lunch. It was delicious. We're getting there. It's almost dead. You can tell because he's got smoke coming off of him, which implies, fire or something. And yeah, it's almost over. I can tell. Yeah, it doesn't help if I run into the lasers. I have found that if you do it right, you can kind of time everything. Oh, you know what? I finally get to kill this guy with my shield. This one's something I've been hoping to do this entire game, so the fact that I did it, that actually makes me quite happy. Well, here comes Dr. Robotnik. It's not really Dr. Robotnik. Dr. Wily, that's who I'm thinking of. This whole time I've been... Well, I'm done, or Dr. Robotnik, but it's actually Dr. Wily. Anyway, well, I win. Huzzah! That's it. I finished the story mode. Doesn't look like there's going to be much of a reason to replay it unless you want to beat your high score. So yeah, then we have, of course, the arcade. There's some trials and whatnot. And, we can change the ship a little bit. So there you go. That's Retaliate in a nutshell. Granted, I just kind of jumped to the end there because I've been playing it for a while. So I would say the game, probably, if you just play the story mode and then just kind of jump between the arcade mode and back or whatever, you could probably complete the story mode within an hour and a half. And then the arcade obviously has more gameplay for you to play. A little bit more difficult because you got the one life, but it is fun. Definitely a title that I think is one I recommend pretty highly for any shoot 'em up fans. The link is in the description. I encourage you to check it out. If you're not sure you want it, just wishlist it for now. You can always pick it up when it's at a better price point. And thanks for watching.